Meeting of the Town of North Wilkesboro Board of Commissioners is now in session. Please rise. Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion. Allow us to grow closer as a group and nurture the bonds of community. Fill us with your grace, Lord God, as we make decisions that may affect us all. And continue to remind us that all we do here today, all that we accomplish is for the pursuit of truth, for the greater glory of you, and for the service of humanity. We ask these things in your name. Amen. Please turn and face the flag. Chief Thornburg, will you please lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Chief. Please be seated. Any additions or deletions to the agenda? Need a motion to approve the agenda, please.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as is.
Thank you, Mr. Church. A second, please. Second. Thank you very much. All those in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Okay, Speaker Smart. Good.
We've got the applicant.
Under routine business, items A, B, and C, I need a motion to approve them, or if anyone wants to pull one out for further discussion. Entertain a motion now, please.
Second.
Thanks both, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those motion carries. Thank you. Town manager report, Ms. Minton.
First, I would like to take an opportunity to welcome Taylor Dana to our team. She is our new community development director. At the last meeting, we had referenced, she was gonna be hired within a week, and we did, and Taylor's on board now. She's been working diligently on the Festival of Trees, sorry, Light Up Downtown. I don't know why I keep doing that. I apologize profusely. I don't know why I keep doing that. I know it is, but anyway. Yeah, I'm with you. It is terrible. Light Up Downtown. Light Up Downtown. She's been working diligently on that, which is tomorrow night, as you all know. We hope for a good turnout. It is going to be cold, so.
Taylor, we're glad you're here.
Yeah.
The mural is now complete. The staging of the stage is complete. We, at the agenda setting meeting, we referenced that we had some funding left over from that. We have about $4,600 left over. After some investigation over the course of the week, we are thinking we would like to put mini split HVAC units in the bathrooms at the marketplace so that they could be used year round as opposed to having to be seasonally closed. And then we would also potentially like to paint the wall extending from the mural out. It looks just a little dingy there. We had talked about some, the poles have rusted down the wall, so painting that. I think we would have almost just enough funding to do all of that, and the remaining $300 to $400 will have to come out of the public buildings fund. But I was hoping for a head nod to authorize that.
I agree with you.
Okay.
I'd like to say one thing. I think Andrew did a super job in finding this set of people that paint the mural. I think we all need to give him a hand. I think
They were really good to work with. I thought that they worked really swiftly and efficiently once
I
they
thought
got
they were
here.
top of it. Super.
Right. The tennis court lighting has officially been repaired. That has been a struggle. So it is ready for use for pickleball courts at night or the tennis courts at night. Just wanted to plug that. Water project updates, the elevated storage tank, they're beginning the chlorination and filling process tomorrow. The paperwork for the raw water intake and pump station was submitted to the state this week to begin the process for receiving that funding. Matt Shoesmith, Kimberly Horn and I kind of refocused on that project rather than the active flow project for the last couple of weeks because I wanted to get that turned in because the paperwork said turn in as soon as possible and we needed to make it happen. So we completed that and mailed it off. Now Mr. Webb and I will move forward with doing an RFQ to solidify an engineer for that project.
Great.
The finance department, the auditor will be arriving tomorrow. He has been sick this week, but tentatively he will be here tomorrow. So we will start that. Finance officer, August and myself recently met with Mitch Davenport, with Mitch of Davenport Public Finance. I'm gonna have some more things to report to you all about that, meeting later on. The planning department is working diligently on, the webpage for the traffic calming. We've received one request since adoption of the policy a couple months ago. I think that was just a couple months ago that you all adopted that. And we're working on implementation of that policy. The staff continues to work with the Outdoor Economy Group and Mountain BizWorks. Just this week, the U.S. Department of Commerce came out with a study that reported $11.8 billion in value are added to our state's economy each year through outdoor activities. And that over 130,000 jobs are created or in North Carolina because of outdoor activities, which I think we rank 11 in the 50 states with outdoor economy. So we continue to dedicate staff time towards implementing the plan that we adopted 2 months ago. The fire truck is potentially I don't even want to say it out loud.
Don't say it. It will be here before we all retire.
It will be here hopefully before the end of December, but maybe before Christmas, but I was gonna say, hopefully it will be here before the end of December. That's all I'm gonna say. And that's closed, yes. And then, town hall will be closed next Thursday, Friday for Thanksgiving. And now, if you all want to discuss emerging issues.
I was gonna have one. While we're in the room, we talked at the agenda meeting about improvements to the boardroom for people here and the board, and I thought while the board's here, maybe a time to at least talk about that. We've got one TV. I feel like we have problems where they can see it, we can see it. I don't know if one will do on that wall or we need two. Do we need microphones for overheads out there, back here, so people can hear better? We had talked to before about people that are hearing impaired, making sure that we have the stuff for that. That's why I bring that up.
And I think we need to put a TV on this wall, a big one, so the audience could see what's there. Yeah. Long up there, yeah.
It wouldn't be hard if you had the right person to hang a couple lavalier mics here, and maybe even out there, if those speakers work. To amplify what people are saying a bit, because sometimes people can't hear.
It's nice. Thanks for being Berkeley.
One, it's okay if I speak about the marketplace proposing the trees.
Yes.
Yeah, because this happened actually the last concert on the deck. Nolan Design Bob Vickery, he said, there was in time past, he said the board was asked to go ahead and continue that line of trees. And there's a line of maples there to the east of the marketplace. And he said, it really looked good if we could do something on up the road up to that corner. because for wind, noise, and shade. So the board gave a thumbs up on that, and the town manager delegated that to me, and I talked to David Webb, and he said that there is a water line and a drainage line on the north side of the street. There's that big layer of #2 stone. He said that's probably why nothing was done in the past. However, he said we could move that stone, put in big planters, and then put that stone back to hold them. You can get a very sizable tree. And people say, well, trees tend to grow and break lines and grow into drainage, and crack the sidewalk. It won't in a planter, and also the size of the tree will be limited by the root ball and the size of that planter. So we really need, and then so it's been bandied about to continue with those sugar makers. Were gorgeous in the fall. People have said it's really nice to have something different that's flowering. I like that too. So Bob Vickery said he wants to get back to us with the drawing. He's tickled for the opportunity and continue from there. He did work with me back in the mid-80s, and he's still good and does a good job. So as things develop, I'll keep the board and the people involved. That's it.
Well, I got a question. Did we come up with a street cleaning program?
Yes, we did. We have, David Webb has, or you're talking about the one, yes, yes, we have. We have, the Mayor Hauser is gonna do, a robocall so that we can clear the streets. And then I think we decided Sunday night. And Mr. Webb has organized it, so it is gonna happen.
Sounds
Once a
good.
week in downtown.
And also to work it in, a robocall for sure.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, I was gonna say, so that has been executed.
Good job. Well, I don't remember, he saying, Mr. Webb give us a starting date.
I thought it was gonna be this Sunday. I thought,
Okay, I'll get that call.
I was gonna say, we'll definitely confirm that tomorrow,
Okay.
but I thought that it was gonna be this Sunday.
Anything else, Mr.
No, I was gonna say, if you all don't have any other hot topics on your minds, I know that we went over a lot the other day at the agenda setting.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes.
You mentioned that they're looking into getting those little nets that catch the ball, for
Mhm.
pickleball,
Mhm.
and that's important. So if you have pickleball friends, let them know, and also let them know that we're the only place that has lights on pickleball courts at night. I had a couple people from Wilkesboro reach out to me
Bastard.
and ask us to spread the word on that. So there.
Any other questions for Ms. Mindy? Okay, if not, we'll get to the public hearing, item 9, Mrs. Dash, please.
Let me get this shared for. I'm just gonna run through it. Oh, quick, with you guys. We discussed this at our last meeting. I've got applicant Scott Navis here. And then we will hold a public hearing for all 3 of these in case there is any public comment. So we do have to go through each one of these. I know that's a little bit of a headache, but they are separate parcels, separate hearings, separate orders essentially. So we'll get started. We'll get through these as quickly as possible, and I've got some good news for us at the end. So before you, the first one we've got is, this is off of Marsh Lane. This is parcel ID 1404248. And I have, for your convenience, also passed out kind of a cheat sheet for motions. But essentially what we have before us is there's 3 parcels that are along Sparta Road, as well as it goes back behind to the Old Carolina Mirror that Scott owns, and he is looking to add another access point to his property. So in your agenda packet, your staff report, essentially you can access that property off the Elkin Highway, and you can go down East Wall Street, but it is a little bit tricky with the cars and the trucks trying to get through there. So he's proposing to take these 3 parcels, rezone them, combine them, create a dedicated driveway for trucks to go through off of Sparta Road versus going down a residential street of East Wall. So essentially, one of the things we have to look at with rezonings is our comp plan. And as you heard me earlier tonight, our comp plan was adopted back in 2018. A lot has happened since 2018. We're probably gonna want to look at that in the next year or two because we've got a lot of projects going on, especially water projects. So this area did call for it to be commercial, but with there being industrial so nearby, it can be considered reasonable is what we have to defend essentially with any rezonings. So the first one, it is a big jump. It is from R6 to light industrial. And also, like I mentioned, it's not gonna have anything built on it at this time other than a driveway and then maybe some overflow parking. But like I mentioned, this is to give Mr. Nate more access to his industrial site. He will now be able to advertise it as off of 18 and off of 268 for his tenants to use. So if you would like to call unless the commissioners have questions for me.
Any questions, Mrs. Ditch? Hearing none, then I need a motion to open the public hearing on parcel ID 1404424 Haver Marsh Lane.
So moved.
Thank you. Second, please. Public hearing is now open.
Would anyone
If
would
you would like to speak, you have 5 minutes.
Is it gonna close off Marsh Line when it crosses over?
No, ma'am. Did you want to speak on it?
Well, I was just curious what.
You want me to pull up the map and show you those?
I was just curious,
Not really quick.
and then I talked to Dave Healy. He's the neighbor,
Yes.
Mama passed away and I got her house. And so it goes between me and Daniel. So I was just wondering, he said something about planting trees. But we didn't need no legalings because they get so big and fall over easy and ice storms and stuff. I just hate one falling on Mama's house. And I want to be concerned about it. My mother-in-law, she lives in it now.
Okay, so let me see. Can you guys see the screen?
You're welcome to step up.
Yeah. So here is Marsh Lane runs back here. So Mr. Nate has purchased these two properties right here, and he already owned this one. So he bought on this.
Cheap property.
Yeah. And with donations, right, so he owns all of this industrial property that will turn on here. So essentially, the only way you can access it right now is you come in off the Elton Highway. Or you can go down East Wall Street and the trucks to facilitate, to get their facilities back here. This is really tight on these residents part of the street.
Years ago, when I was little, Carolina Mirror went in and out just fine, but everybody didn't park in the road.
Yeah, exactly. And now you've got that, so his solution was, okay, you've got 7 residents here that are essentially being disrupted by trucks and then parking and tightening.
And the kids playing in the road.
Right, so his solution was to come off of Sparta Road, have dedicated access, go across Marsh Lane. I mean,
Well, that's what I was
the pavement and then, go back through here with grading to have direct access right there. And then he may have to do a little parking for like his tenants there as well, but he would be required to do buffer, like you were saying, the screening, because it is industrial next to residential.
I just wish they would plant big trees, they're parallel, because they're gonna fall down the hill.
We can discuss that. Yeah, would you mind signing in for us, just since you spoke for the record? Yeah. Mr. Nate, did you want to add anything?
I'm just gonna hang through my coffee.
Okay. That works.
Now, you've married it on
Yes,
the land?
yes.
Okay, so you understand.
I do.
A lot's went on in this past year. Topic concern, what do I put on there?
Oh, you could just put rezoning.
Okay.
And I'll say it is 3 parcels that we are rezoning to achieve this essentially.
And I was just looking. This would be that house, but that used to be a cattle corner
Okay.
lot. I don't know what's happened on that change on it.
we might be thinking further out the road, that one.
Mr. Dave, your intention is to take that property and basically create an entrance corridor, correct?
That's right, it's access.
Now, you will actually have a buffer on both sides of the corridor going into that property. So you would actually be completely free and clear of the side streets that parallel where you're wanting to go.
Access has been a real, those are great buildings, it serves about 60,000 feet, but access has been a real problem for the 15 years I've owned it. It's just very fortunate that this is an available opportunity, and I think it will work with my neighbors.
What is the approximate width of that corridor, do you know?
About 170 feet. There is a narrower part, but it's probably got about 300 feet on Highway 18. And a lot behind it, you can see there's a narrow part, and then there's part that's about 170 feet wide.
Okay, so the corridor you could create really would not be detrimental to any of the existing properties that are adjacent to that corridor, correct?
Certainly.
Now, to address her concern with the trees, you don't see any concerns as far as creating buffers which could be detrimental to the existing properties as far as she addressed with, damage to trees and stuff like that, or.
I understand the concern. I used to love waiting inside
You found out what they were.
until I lived 25 years after I planted.
Right.
And they do get too tall and.
Fall over.
So right now, there's a lot of kudzu, which is real pleased.
Well, that's what I'm gonna have to work on.
Mr. Nate, what type of trees are you gonna plant? I'm gonna look to Meredith.
Yeah.
Guidance, I think that was kind of a stipulation in our last hearing that they were. No problem.
We'll give them we have a approved landscaping list in our zoning ordinance and he can choose different sizes and we'll work with the neighbors to make sure they're not invasive species.
Okay, then, we all set on this parcel then?
We,
Any further discussion on this parcel? Everybody good on this first one? Okay, hearing nothing else, I need a motion to close the public hearing on parcel ID 1404248. So moved. Second, please. All those in favor? None opposed? Public hearing is now closed. Mrs. Judge?
Would you all like to make a motion on the first one? Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to move to approve the proposed rezoning of Marsh Lane, isn't it?
Yes.
This Marsh Lane 103869 61 7681 parcel ID number 1404248 from R6 high density residential to light industrial. The proposed rezoning is consistent with the North Wilkesboro 25-year comprehensive plan and all other applicable plans. And the comprehensive plan map can be amended to become conforming. The comprehensive plan has 3 goals that support this rezoning request. Goal A.1 foster development of small and medium-sized businesses. A.2 encourage retention of larger regional businesses, and B1 develop and utilize flexible land use control. The comprehensive plan map is amended to represent the actual land use light industrial. The Board of Commissioners considers the vote to be reasonable and in the public's interest.
Thank you, Mr. Paul. Your second. Thank you, Mr. Drake. All those in favor? Opposed, motion carries.
We got,
Mayor, make a motion to go into public hearing for parcel 1401756.
And a second. Thank you both. All those in favor? None opposed? Public hearing regarding parcel ID 1401756 on Sparta Road is now in session. And then speaker, please.
it's pretty much a similar situation. This is just, these are the properties now fronting Sparta Road versus off of Marsh Lane. So these are the 2 parcels up off of Sparta that are literally across from Sparta Springs.
Anyone else? Okay, hearing nothing, I will need a A motion to close the public hearing regarding parcel ID 1401756 Sparta Road.
So moved.
Second, please. All those in favor? There's none opposed, motion carried. The public hearing is now closed. Mrs. Deitch, anything on, the last one?
Well, Mr. Mayor, let me make a motion for this.
I'm
one.
sorry.
Y'all please bear with my voice. I'm down worse than I am. I make a motion that we approve the proposed zoning on Sparta Road. PN 3869-61-5472. Parcel ID number 1401756. From highway business or HB Highway Business to Light Industrial LI. The proposed rezoning is consistent with North Wilkesboro 25-year comprehensive plan and all other applicable plans. The comprehensive plan map can be amended to become conforming. Comprehensive plan has three goals to support this rezoning request. Goal 1A1 is foster development of small and medium-sized businesses. A2, encourage retention of larger regional businesses. And D1, develop and utilize flexible land use control. Comprehensive plan map is amended to represent the actual land use light industrial. The Board of Commissioners considers this vote to be reasonable and in the public interest.
Thank you, Mr. Parsons. See a second, please. Second. Thank you, Mr. Church. All those in favor?
Aye.
No opposed, motion carries. Now, Mrs. Deitch.
One more. Yes, sir. The last one is again right off of Sparta Road. This is gonna be parcel ID 1400545. It's 0.19 acres and it's part of the overall 3 properties to be rezoned.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to go into public hearing. The rezoning request for 140055545.
Thank you, Mr. Parsons. Thank you, Mr. Church. All those in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Public hearing regarding parcel ID 1400545. Continue on session. Open.
Do you guys have any other
Any
comments?
speakers?
Questions?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to go out of public session on parcel 1400545.
Thank you, Mr. Parsons. Thank you, Mr. Church. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. The public hearing regarding parcel ID 1400545 is now closed. And now, Board of Commissioners motion for public hearing, approval or denial.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve the proposed rezoning at off Sparta Road. PN 3869-61-5418, parcel ID number 1400545. From HB Highway Business to LI Light Industrial. The proposed rezoning is consistent with the North Wilkesboro 25-year comprehensive plan and all other applicable plans. And the comprehensive plan map can be amended to become conforming. The comprehensive plan has 3 goals to support this rezoning request. Goal A1, foster development of small and medium-sized businesses. A2, encourage retention of larger regional businesses. And B1, develop and utilize flexible land use controls. Comprehensive plan map is amended to represent the actual land use light industrial of the Board of Commissioners. Consider the vote to be reasonable and in the public interest.
Thank you, Mr. Paul. Second. Thank you, Mr. Church. All those in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries.
Thank you for all you do, Mr. Day. It's noted and well appreciated.
Maybe some serious leaders support.
It's good to hear. We'll work out the details. Okay, very good. Item 11, consideration of new business. Our planning director, Mrs. Deitch.
I've got some exciting news. Okay, so you guys all saw the wonderful playground equipment at Smoot Park. And bye, you guys have a good night. And like I mentioned, we've got even more jam-packed for us. So we accepted $100,000 from the Wilkes Medical Center Foundation about a month or 2 ago. And that money is earmarked for a challenge course, which we're going to be putting right beside the playground equipment. So in your agenda packets, you've got a quote from the same contractor we used with the playground equipment that's out there, Cunningham Recreation through Game Time. And one of the things is essentially you can go with this group because they are part of a cooperative. They're called Omnia. It's a cooperative group, which means they're a competitive business. And the state statute actually allows you to just automatically contract with them. You don't have to go through an RFP or an RFQ because they have gone through a rigorous process to become this qualified contractor. So with y'all's head nod, I'm going to essentially enter into a contract with them to do the challenge course. And I wanted to show you guys a little bit more information so you know what we're about to have. So if you would,
And part of the perk of utilizing this company
Oh, thank you.
is the efficiency and the timeline that they
yes,
essentially get the equipment for
Mhm.
us. A lot of other towns are having issues with
Supply chain.
receiving their
Mhm.
playground equipment. It's on boats out in the middle of the ocean for 6 to 8 months. And this company delivers, it's US made and it delivers very quickly.
Mhm.
Not that, and a very good, high quality US product.
I like the US made,
I do too.
Yep.
and I think anything we put in, we can get US, when we
Exactly.
do, even if we have to pay a little more for it.
We were recently at another event with another town and they said that I think their project was like 7, I don't know how many months behind.
Yeah.
Because their playground equipment was taking such a lengthy time to get here. So
Mhm.
more reason to utilize this company.
Speaking of, does the town always try to buy things local and local for businesses we can?
Yes.
Even for things like trash bags.
Yes, we did.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'll say the only exception was Lowe's, and I just went through Lowe's with all of our purchases as because there was some branding stipulations. I just thought it was easier.
Yeah.
But
Other
yes,
than that, I think-
so stay local though.
Yeah, like, even like, we've got Wilkes Hardware.
Mhm.
Churches.
We use, yes.
Yes.
Mhm. Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna go real quick, just as a refresher for our renovations, so you guys know what's going on. We did that master plan a few months ago. This is just a refresher to show you. We're sticking with this as that's what was adopted and we're moving forward. The challenge course was, it was one of those like dream lists that we didn't get and then magically we did. So for simplicity, we're proposing to put it kind of over in this area because essentially it's gonna be big once I show you it. And I want to leave this area to be open for what we had already identified. So,
Meredith, I've got one concern. and
yes.
I've had other people bring it up to me. I'm concerned if we move that big shelter to the back,
Mhm.
that it's gonna make it hard for people carrying coolers and stuff.
So
Any
as you
thoughts on that?
see, yes, so as you see, that's not till about like phase 3 or 4.
Yeah.
We're gonna think on that one because that did come up after we held several public hearings. I think people like went to the site, walked around, looked, thought, and were like, So yeah, we're gonna hold off on moving it just yet, but for right now, that's kind of at the bottom of the list because we're gonna need a lot of money to either rebuild it.
Will that affect where this thing goes, the challenge course?
So as you see, we're in phase 1. We've completed the Lowe's hometown. I'm gonna wrap up that grant the next month. And then we do have to do a few final touches with removing the old playground equipment on site, moving the volleyball court, and then installing the challenge course and other amenities, just clean up amenities out in that area. And then, of course, we have applied for the AFP, which is with the state. That was due November 1st, and then Pardiff was announced. That is another state pot of money. We're gonna go after that in spring, so we'll come back and start talking to you about that next.
What happens to that old playground equipment?
Usually it's up to the board. It probably would be destroyed when we pulled it out because the footers and trying to get the concrete. The playground in the very back, we were approached by a school in Wilkes County and we're talking to them to see if they want to come out and like disassemble it and take it and put it up at their school. But there are some safety concerns because once you disassemble it, it could void the warranty. So we're trying to work out those logistics, hence why it's still standing. And if that's the case, we can come before you and surplus it or donate it or what steps we need to take to officially get that off the books.
We're just not ready to cross that bridge yet.
Yes. So, but playground equipment is up. We've done landscaping. It is gorgeous and we are super excited about it. I want to like do a really quick like plug in for everyone that made this project possible. This was Lowe's hometown, and we partnered with the Wilkesboro Lowe's store. Stevie Call was our store captain, and we took a lot of pictures before, after, and during because we worked ourselves silly. But as you saw, it is gorgeous, and it was really neat seeing the tandem over here with the two backhoes moving those giant stones. We did that as a safety and a safety feature in case someone hits the gas instead of the brake. I'm gonna keep everybody safe. So, we also planted trees, landscaping, river rock. We wanted to kind of keep this, we're doing a river theme, greenway, river theme. That is our park. In the playground equipment, you saw there is that pour and play. You had the Blue River for the Reddies and the Yadkin. Again, we did a river theme, kind of meandering with the river rocks. So we had a lot of good help. Our guys are amazing. I mean, I was just, our public works folks, just phenomenal. Their hard work, and I think all of us in this room were out there digging, planting, doing all kinds of stuff. So that's the final picture of it. If you haven't been by, please do. It is amazing. Now I'm going to talk about the Wilkes Medical Center grant. So we have $100,000. The deadline is mid-January. I may have to get an extension of supply chain issues. But essentially, have you ever seen American Ninja Warrior? Run around, jump around, time yourself, have a good time. So I want to kind of bring in a few pictures so you can start getting the vision of what's going to be there. So essentially, this is one actually in Charlotte that just went up through game time. And essentially, you run through the equipment, time yourself. And I've got a fun little video if you'll entertain a minute. So let me show you. This is kind of this is just like a hypothetical. You got a greenway, you got a river, you got playground equipment, you got your challenge course. This is our goal for that section of Smoot Park. This is the site plan. It shows you essentially the run. It will be handicap accessible with a ramp. And then there's all different levels of play essentially. And this is for all age groups. This is not limited to like 2 to 5 or something like that. So let me show you that video really quick. So you can get excited.
Like obstacle course.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like,
Cool.
yeah, it's almost like parkour, like it's like
Mhm,
obstacle course meets parkour.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show you really quick. So if you're having a hard time envisioning it, essentially, you can. Oh, hold on. Here we go. We are a workout. So we won't have a timer, but we'll have a very similar course with some of that equipment. And it is something that I don't believe anywhere else in the area has. And this is really good because we kept hearing the public meetings. We want adults to be able to interact and like run and be healthy. We want teenagers, they have nothing to do, children. So this literally will get us 6 months to however old you want to be climbing this equipment. Now on Smoot Park, you will have no age limit with the equipment we're going to have on site here.
When we passed around the emails, trying to get community interest of what do you want to be part, I
Mhm.
had a guy reach out to me saying that he wanted a challenge course.
Oh, okay.
And I was kind of like, crazy. Anyway, I saw him today at Smoot Park with the kids, and I was like,
Good.
we're doing a challenge course, and he was like, really?
Yeah.
He was really excited.
Good. Yeah. So this is that first phase that we're doing. And then, like I mentioned, we're going after a lot of state funding for the pool and the pool house. So little tiny bites, and you're already seeing like the vertical equipment made possible by all these amazing funders. So
And then, we're gonna have to just reach out, I volunteer for that too, to go, go have in and solicit for funds, and then, Ms. Min, you were.
I'm working on a sponsorship policy for approval potential. I didn't get it done for this meeting, to be perfectly honest. So that we can have some, guidelines for receiving funding. And guidelines to give folks who want to potentially sponsor some of the opportunities that's.
Could be at their level of sponsorship. they get a
Right.
Plaque or a monument or.
Right, levels of sponsorship,
Okay.
and then essentially what we're obligated to with the sponsorship and things of that nature to keep us kind of within the legal bounds.
I kind of like the model that the Greenway uses where they have the sponsorships and there's placards
Right.
all along the,
Mhm.
and then that way you're not really, you're not, it's, you're denoting the contributions without being obsessive. And
Mhm.
I think if you kind of use that Greenway sponsorship
Mhm.
type of thing, I think that would be a good way to go. So that it's you're not. Anyway, I just think it'd be a good way to go.
We had sponsors at one point at Smoot Park, because if you walk around the picnic tables, you'll start seeing the little plaques and, who's to say we don't put one on the other side when we paint it? So, yeah.
So Meredith, what do you need from us today to get moving with this challenge? Or you just need a hit nod?
Is that
kind of thing?
We were kind of seeking, Danny, just like a approval for staff to move forward. Because it's a little unconventional since we're not doing an RFP and RFQ, but like I mentioned, we researched state statute allows us to directly contract with Omnia Group.
When essentially could they start on this?
We gotta sign the contract and then we'll get rolling. And the contract's in your agenda packet. I think it was maybe $1,000 over. But I'm pretty sure we can find that $1,000 somewhere. Mhm.
Me too. You see that some-
Yep.
We get it up.
Are you gonna timer? You're gonna timer? Yep.
I put y'all on each, one of y'all standing with water for.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
I will.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to say something. I think Meredith has done an outstanding job on this part. Yes, she had. I think we need to really recognize her and approve of what she has done. I think we need to give her a hand.
Had a lot of help. I had a lot of help though. It was not just me.
To reiterate what others have said, our neighbors across the river have been working on a piece of property over there that's basically been a dirt pile for quite a while, and in a very short period of time, I've seen a new playground come, I've
Yeah.
seen the potential for this challenge course,
Yes.
I've seen action happening, and the one thing that many of this board expressed, including Andrew emphatically, is the park is our legacy. The park is a way for this board to leave its mark on this town for a long time to come. And so for the diligence and the tenacity that has been shown to move forward,
Mhm.
I think it bodes well for us, for our citizens,
Mhm.
that, we are trying to make Norfolk for a much better place for everyone. And so, it makes me glad to be part of this group and to see the things happening that have been happening. And, like I said it all along, there's just a lot of things that are moving forward in the right direction that I haven't seen in a while in this town.
I agree with you. We got a lot of
So
good
it's
things.
been, it's exciting to be part of it. It just makes me very, very happy that we have put people in place to get things done.
You better thank Meredith for more than Spoon Park, because she is a go-getter with a lot of things, and you're lucky to have.
We know.
Thank
We
you.
have-
They tasked us with this year. This was a goal of theirs. So don't
That's the reason why
forget
her
that.
train doesn't reach very far, Mark. For GPS tracker, always on.
Well, Well, thank you.
We've been through a lot of plans. trust me, I can say it.
Very good. Thank you. She's the best we ever had.
Well, thank you.
By far. Anything else?
Well, I was gonna say, you guys tasked us with this with your budget retreat last year to do the year of the parks. So we got started and then we're working on the zoning ordinance and then the water intake. So, you know, we're meeting your goals and that's what we're tasked to do.
We got said we had an oil service down at Park, and down at the market, and somebody came up to me and said, congratulations. I finally see North Wilkesboro got one thing done, the mural thing.
It looks great.
He does.
It looks wonderful.
Really good.
The town does a lot of things people don't see, but we
Right.
do, you know, like the chief keeping them safe is.
Yep.
People maybe don't see it because they're like the pipes in the ground and things, but things like the park and the mural are things they're gonna see and it changed the way people feel about us.
Absolutely.
And speaking of the veterans thing, I just want to shout out to Mike Hugh, who kind of MC that. He did a really good job.
Very good. Super job.
Great job.
Mike Shu also graduated from the leadership program with the Wilkes Chamber of Commerce this week. We, I think 10, a lot of us went to support him in that graduation.
Yeah.
And it was a really nice moment for us as a town to see that so many people went out to support him. And then B, that he took the initiative and was excited about it. Mike called one, Mike like reached out to a bunch of us to ask us to come. We probably, normally normally it's just the graduates themselves, but he reached out to several of us and it ended up being a few carloads of town staff. Yeah. Yeah, it was a nice moment.
Nice to cheer on and congratulate one of our.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I've got one other thought. Michael was talking about the sponsorship thing.
Mhm.
I feel like that's a great way to maybe help pay for some things that we can't, like the Greenway, because there's people that, you know, I don't know what to get such and such for Christmas, but I think a lot of them, you know, maybe a family member or somebody like in memory of them. I think it's a good way to get somebody to do something big.
Well, I think it's a good way for people to be able to feel involved in what's going on in town in a different way.
Yeah.
Right, they can contribute to it in a different way than just paying their taxes.
So I want to mention something that Mark Cook, I had not really sat down and thought about it, but when Mark Cook was doing the spectacular thing, Mark had 48 businesses connected in and around the downtown district that participated in the spectacular event. 48 businesses. He had almost 80 total participants. So, you know what, we've got a strong community, business community in this area, especially close to the Sloop Park. Area. So I think the potential, I mean, you know, $20 is $20, you know, it's $20 that you might not have had that, but, you know, whole campaigns can be built on $20 contributions to form big campaigns. So I think it's very important that we get the sponsorship policy engaged so that, you know, we can. Because I think people care about this town and care about this community, and something that has that kind of perception and visual impact. I think people will be on board. I think could be a big thing.
I've already had somebody approach me about a project at the park and they were like, is the town gonna take sponsorship stuff for this? Because they lost a loved one and they're interested in maybe trying to get a group of people that they do, maybe, that's what I was asking.
Yep, next month.
Very good.
It'll be,
Very good.
the sponsorship policy will definitely be completed, but whether the giving level and essentially like the type of ways we're gonna honor folks that has a little more thought than just the initial sponsorship policy.
I mean, could somebody just pay for an item if they?
Yes, absolutely.
You know, it's I don't know, I think suggest we have a low minimum So, you know, 100, 200, they can get something, and particularly somebody who's a great idea, they do that, we can memorialize a loved one that they lost. So, great.
Wait, how many businesses do we have participating in downtown Rhino? Do we have kind of an estimate?
Thank you, real quick.
I do not have a business count. We have 49 vendors. So that's good for me. Can't top that. I like that.
Do we have Santa Claus in one place, not a Roman Santa Claus?
We do have Santa Claus. We have I was gonna
We
say,
have Mr. and Mrs. Claus are gonna be in the Winter Wonderland here in the,
Wachovia Park. lot.
and then there will be Santa on Main Street in Kathy Stone's building
Yeah.
for photographs.
Great.
Which one's the realest?
One inch apart.
They're
You want $100,000 park to go up.
One month a week.
We are not doing pay rides this year. They present a safety concern. I think historically, they've always presented a safety concern. We are exploring ways to do those next year. But this year we put them on pause because we need to think through that in a different way because we want everybody to be safe. I feel like I need to say that out loud because I've already been asked.
Okay.
Are we, Taylor, are we doing the they're gonna try to do the carriage rides again through downtown during the Christmas season?
As far as I know, there are no plans.
You need to incorporate them.
But maybe too late, Otis, to get on board.
So
with
late,
that.
yeah.
That's another thing put on because those were very popular.
We will put it back on the list for next year. Taylor has a running list.
Newly minted.
She is. She's getting trial by fire.
Okay, anyone have anything else? Okay, not hearing anything, others take us home.
I'm making a motion with adjourn.